Fourth Arrow family and Tag and Brag Nation, welcome back to another self-film hunt breakdown. Now, we are in August. We are right around the corner from seasons opening up, and with that being said, we are getting excited. We are getting fired up to get in a tree, so why not get in a tree and break down a couple of self-film hunts so that we can all understand how to use this equipment better, how to set up better, and maybe we can point out a few things that bridge the gap between you and a successful hunt on camera. So we're going to take a look at a hunt from last year in October. My dad had a self-filmed bow kill on his biggest New York buck to date, and super proud of him. Multiple different angles, a lot of cool things about this hunt. So let's just dive right in.
Freezer kill tonight. Anything else is really a bonus, but that's what we're looking for.
So just first off, right off the bat, he's got a GoPro in his hands. He's actually running, which we'll show you in a second, the Flex clamp mount from Fourth Arrow, and he's got that in his hand as he's going to the tree. He doesn't wait until getting into the tree to do an interview. He's kind of bringing you into the whole experience of his hunt. Now, if you heard him say, he was on a doe mission that night. And isn't that how it happens more often times than not when we're going in there trying not to shoot one of our target bucks? Who shows up? Well, you'll just have to see. You could see over the shoulder angle, and he's got it pointed down right now. He'll adjust that to see more of the field, but he's just showing his setup right now.
To the tree.
I think he's got an OG base and an OG shoulder from Fourth Arrow in this tree. You got to understand, this is one of our coveted trees. This is one of my dad's favorite spots. So he does whatever he can to lighten his load going in there. He knows he's going to spend multiple hunts in there a year. He's already got a base. He's already got a shoulder set up. All he's got to do is pop on his carbon arm, or it's either a carbon arm or a stiff arm that he's got on there, and set up his fluid head, and he's ready to hunt.
We got about an hour and 15 minutes. We got a camera here, we got a camera here, we got the main camera here.
So once again, the one over his shoulder right now, great spot for a flex clamp mount, and then he's got another just pivoting mount that's I think it's wrapped onto the to the rail of that tree stand right there. But his main camera is set up perfectly. You can see it's right to his right. It's at hip level. He's got mobilization all throughout that entire plot, whether something comes from a little bit behind him or something's coming from all the way to his left. He's got that whole plot covered. Everything, all of his shooting, or most of his shooting, I should say, and most of the action is going to be happening out in front of him, allowing to set up two different second angles to be able to see different perspectives out in front of him. And just in case he doesn't get that main shot or the main camera on the deer to make a shot, he knows that he's going to pick up anything in this plot and still be able to capture the hunt on film. He was on a doe mission. And if you can see in the far bottom right corner of the screen, there's doe coming out on what would be the left side of this plot. Another thing when self-filming, I think he had about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes left during this stage of the hunt. And what I've kind of taught him to do, and what I do as well, when I get to that point in the night, if I've got the card space on the GoPros or on the whatever my second angles are, and I've got the battery space, I'll just turn those cameras on, because a couple things. Number one, if something happens, you don't have to worry about flipping those cameras on, hitting a button in your pocket, anything. They're already running. They're going to capture what happens to you and what happens with the deer in the field or in the woods, wherever the case may be, in real time. All you got to do is focus on that main camera. And number two, if nothing happens, then you can just choose whatever clips of that footage you want to keep and get rid of the rest. And there's really no harm, no foul. You're likely going to be recharging batteries. You're likely going to be clearing cards overnight anyway. So at that point, especially self-filming, I do this all the time to make sure my cameras are going in the heat of the moment when something happens quickly. All right, so now he's finally getting locked on these doe to the left.
Right behind the tree.
Can't see him yet. Now with that fourth arrow equipment and with the camera arm, he's able to swing that thing all the way around, almost in front of himself, to get these deer on camera. Now you can see the one doe coming out into the plot. And you could see he's tucked in that tree up there to where he's able to make a little bit of movements and still, be able to get the camera on the deer, get set up, and get ready for a shot. What happens along the way here is he is so focused on the 3 doe that are coming out from the left side of the plot, he doesn't even see the buck come out from the opposite side of the plot and walk right into the plot. Now, the doe had the buck's attention, so he had no idea. The buck had no idea that my dad was there. My dad had no idea that the buck was there at first, and, well, you'll see how it all unfolds. You can see the buck coming in from the top of the screen right here, and he's still locked on the doe. This is how just bushed in the tree stand is, all the camera equipment is. It's just a perfect ambush. Okay, now see how, okay. So literally with that tree arm, he was just able to make probably like a 6 to 8 inch movement to the right with the camera. He gets the camera on the deer, takes his hands off the camera. Camera stays steady on the base, on the tree arm. Everything's all good. See, that doe is so locked, or the buck is so locked on the doe, he has no idea of anything else going on. Second angle catches over the shoulder. And a perfect shot. I mean, that second angle was money and just so incremental in bringing all that together, because now you get three different perspectives. The side angle over here, the one over his left shoulder, and the main camera, and you get 3 different perspectives on the hunt and how it all went down.
I smoked him.
And now now the celebration begins.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I freaking smoked him.
Okay, now see how he's just able to have a reaction to both of his second angles. He's not worried about turning that main camera around and turning it on him. All he's doing is reacting to both of the GoPros and having more of a natural reaction and a natural feel to the hunt, as opposed to having to shift around a bunch of equipment. He was able to follow that deer until he was out of sight after he hit him with his main camera on the stiff arm and the OG base and shoulder, and then the second angles capture everything else and do the rest of the work for him.
Holy smokes! I freaking smoked him. Oh, that was a good buck. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was a mature buck.
The raw emotion there that's able to be captured just because he can just kind of let himself go and let the second angles do the work for him is pure amazing. It's pure amazement. It's pure joy. It's why we do it. And watching this hunt certainly pulls you right in. The fact that he's able to do this from 3 different angles is awesome. And it's all a testament to our fourth arrow equipment.
Holy mackerel, that was insane.
You can see how easy that camera moves. The camera moves on the shoulder, on the fourth arrow camera arm, and everything, like I said, in this spot is just set up perfectly to self-film.
Unreal. Unreal. That's a good buck.
How awesome it was to be able to share that memory with not only our family, but with all the YouTube and Facebook and Instagram viewers out there. And for my dad to be able to do it self-filming, that's a true testament to the equipment that we're using. So I want to go through and kind of look at some of my favorite Fourth Arrow equipment and just kind of show you guys the different mounts that we use. So the POV mount that you saw him using was this Silent Flex POV clamp mount. And awesome mount, super versatile. The fact that it's silent is amazing. You can use it as a selfie stick as he was walking into the stand. That'll fit around most branches that are around you. And you can even set it out in front of you if you need to. But this mount is probably the number one mount that I would have as a hunter, especially for second angles. Super easy to set up over your shoulder to capture that same angle that my dad did over his left shoulder, where you can see him drawing, you could see the buck in the background, you could see the whole shot and the deer running off. I mean, it's just amazing that way. This outreach arm is another awesome tool that I love that I'll bring with me on most of my hunts, given the setup and whatnot. But this outreach arm kind of extends out over you, and you can point it back to you so that you can kind of get that more of like literal POV angle of what's going on in the tree stand and what the hunter and cameraman, who is the same person in this instance, has to do in order to prepare for the shot. A couple other smaller mounts down here, but let's go to the tree arms. So you saw my dad using, I believe it was the stiff arm that he had on there, which is the standard Fourth Arrow camera arm. That's the stiff arm right here. This Baton Arm 2.0 is an awesome arm if you have a smaller, very small, compact camera or filming off of a cell phone. Or this can be used for second angles in the tree as well. Now, if you want something lighter, like I like packing in light, especially if I'm on public land and I'm packing in not only my camera gear, but my tree stand and whatever I'm going to be sitting in as well, I would go with the Stiff Arm Ghost. It's a little bit lighter. You can see with the air pockets going through there, a little bit lighter. All right, so go to the tree arm components. This little standard tree base 2.0 version, these come in a 5-pack, and these are awesome for, like my dad likes to do. We've got these in probably 6 or 7 of our tree stands on our main property that we hunt up in New York. And a lot of it's for when my dad goes to the tree, you know, one less thing to pack in, one less thing to carry in your pack. You have these in the tree already, whether you have a shoulder that you slide on there or there's already a shoulder in the tree and you just put the tree arm right on top and you're ready to roll. It's set up. It's ready to roll. You don't have to make any noise with the ratchet strap when you're going in there. And like I said, for stands that are already set up and are stationary, kind of the go-to spots that you'll go back to year after year, this is, buying one of these 4-packs, you get one of these bases for free, and you can keep these in a couple different trees. No harm, no foul if you pull them out or not, but at least they're in there, they're set up, and it's one less thing to do when you're getting to a tree. Fourth Arrow has evolved over the last couple of years. They've got some awesome new products out. They've evolved us as self-filmers, and they've allowed us to do, this equipment has allowed us to do what we do on a consistent basis and has made us the self-filmers that we are.